All right, guys, welcome back to Holiday Hangouts with Branson Falker. I'm your host, and I'm joined again with three guests of mine who are all part of my graduating high school class and the North Central High School class of 2014. This episode of Holiday Hangouts is additionally a reflection of high school and who we were and how we have changed over the past 4 years, and looking back at our futures, or looking back at what we experienced in high school and looking forward to our futures. Just to give everyone a better sense of who everyone is, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves as well. I'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Hannah Thomas. I'm a senior at IU studying public relations, advertising, and political science.
Wow. Hey, my name is Danielle Rivers. I'm a senior at Purdue University, majoring in biology and genetics with minors in chemistry and global studies.
And my name is Lasawni Reynolds. I'm a senior at Purdue University, majoring in finance with a concentration in management information systems and analytics.
All right, and I'm your host, Branson Falker. Again, I'm a senior at Howard University, studying broadcast journalism with a minor in political science. All right, so basically for the first question, I wanted you guys to just talk about what made you choose your current universities and the spots you're currently in at this time. I'll start with Hannah.
Okay, well, my story about why I decided to go to IU is kind of cheesy, but when I was in third grade, I was down at IU for an awards banquet with my family, and my grandma was getting an award for all of her accomplishments and everything she did for IU, and the president of IU asked if I was going to go to IU, and I said yes, and I held my promise ever since. But also I felt it was a way that I could continue on my family's legacy at IU, and also a place where I could flourish and really find myself.
Awesome.
Okay, so I guess my journey to Purdue was a little roundabout. So senior year, I applied to, 15, 20 colleges, just because, okay, why not? And what happened? Okay, so I applied to Harvard just for kicks, didn't get in. I applied to Johns Hopkins, USC, Hampton, IU, Purdue, and a couple others.
No Howard?
Wow. So no Howard. In fact, I really wasn't even into HBCUs, but I was like, I'll give Hampton a try.
Right.
I just chose a random one.
Okay.
But ultimately, I just didn't want to be too far from my grandma. She just turned 88. Shout out to her.
Shout out Grandma.
And then it really came down to IU and Purdue, and I felt like all of North Central went to IU, so I went to Purdue.
And then for me, so in high school, I did a program called the Battalion Military Scholarship Program. One of the sessions, Darren Henry came in and he spoke to our class a lot about Purdue University. And then two good friends who I really look up to, Madison Long, Jordan Haskins, they also went off to Purdue. And just hearing about their success stories, what all they're able to experience and accomplish. And Purdue gave me the most amount of money. So those reasons definitely made it a clear choice for me to head off to Purdue.
Nice.
I feel like I really have to hold my weight here because I'm only Hoosier at this
Yeah,
table,
only
and I've got two Purdue people, so
former.
Yeah, and I got another former Hoosier, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for sharing that. I am really interested in hearing about where people got their ideas of where they're getting their education, because that's such an important part of our lives, and we all have different stories, and mine is just kind of different because similar to if you heard in the last podcast, I started out at IU and kind of just realized that it was not the place for me. And like I said, I was so grateful for the time that I did spend at IU, because it made me realize so many things about myself and what I really, really, really needed out of a college experience, and to be able to grow as a person and within people who look like me. And that's something that's something that's so important to me, because thinking back in high school, North Central was a very, very, very diverse place. But I was kind of secluded, or I never really had a strong connection with a lot of the Black community at North Central,
Honors
which I
classes.
think, yes,
Truly. We'll
honors classes.
Blame honors classes. for
Honors
sure.
classes. Oh my God. Remember World History AP, if you
Say less.
AP World History with
Lasawni and I hung
Tallman.
tough,
Oh my
too,
gosh.
classes.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely that. Additionally, just kind of the environment that I grew up in and like the area in which I was raised, which really had an effect on me. And I was so deprived of like Blackness. And I just think that's really, really, really why I decided to go to Howard in the end, because I just felt like there was a disconnect between me and like the people who are literally for me and who look like me. And yeah, so that's just why I went to Howard. But I'm curious, do you guys have any regrets about your decisions at your universities now?
I don't want to say regrets, because I feel that everything where I am at this point in college is happened for a reason. But I think that there are things that I could have done earlier on and gotten more part of the Neil Marshall Cultural Center and looking at different Black organizations earlier on, freshman and sophomore year, than kind of going with the rest of the crowd or what my friends on my floor were doing. I think would have been more beneficial for me in the beginning. But like I said, I don't really have any regrets about where I am, because I feel right now I'm in a community and a space with people who really support me and my values and really care for my well-being.
That's amazing. Danielle?
Okay, definitely retweet Hannah on the no regrets. But I can't lie. Purdue is quite the school.
It is. It is.
Wow, it is
Boilermakers
quite
over here.
the school. I want to say our Black population is around 2 to 3%.
Oh my goodness.
Going
wow.
up.
We're rocking the 4, so
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really a gag. It's a joke.
Oh my goodness.
But I have to say, like, when you're in an environment like that, you have no choice but to find people that are for you and about you, who look like you, who care
and
about
understand where you come from.
Exactly.
Right.
So, like, you definitely have to put work in, and Purdue has definitely tested me multiple times.
Many times.
But I think I'm better for it.
Oh, great. Love it.
And similar to what the two ladies said, I don't necessarily have any regrets about Purdue. I know for sure I have a love-hate relationship with my school. Now that I'm about to graduate, I'm definitely like enjoying my time there more and thankful for the decision I made. But just looking back at it, I wish I would have stuck a little bit, or still a little bit closer to my friends who I initially started off with. We did the summer program, the business opportunity program. And I'll be honest, we somewhat kind of started to drift apart, but like now I reconnected with my friends, and that pretty much has helped me stay focused, definitely stay in with my studies and whatnot. But overall, like I definitely am thankful for the experience and opportunities I've had at Purdue.
Great. I love that. That's awesome that you guys are truly happier and have really no regrets. My next question was going to be, could you see yourself anywhere else? Like, I know you, Danielle, you said you applied to a myriad of colleges. And so, I mean, of course, it comes down to like getting accepted, of course, and rejection and whatnot. But could you see yourself at any other college in the world right now?
Like, at this point in my life?
Yeah, at this point.
No. But I plan on actually going to the schools that I initially applied to for my grad school. So
Okay.
Will I ever do Purdue University again? No, not at all.
Why is that? Why?
I think I have gotten everything I could have gained from Purdue.
Yeah, same here.
Right. I don't need to be there any longer. These 4 years, have been.
4 years is a long time.
Listen.
show is.
Listen. So that's it. Like, this Purdue chapter is closed. I'm putting the book away, giving it to somebody, burning it, anything, but keeping it.
Right.
And similar to what Danielle said, if I would have known what I know now, then I could have, went back in time and restarted at another university. I feel like I would have been able to have that overall focus and just hustler mentality because of what I know now. But if I originally would have started off at, let's say, IU, great school, have a lot of great friends at IU, but I feel like I would have been distracted. I feel like I wouldn't have made it, would not have been able to keep up with my major and the course load. So right. I definitely just see myself here at Purdue for a reason.
Good. Everything happens for a reason, you know?
That's cute.
Everything does happen for a reason.
I really don't think I could see myself anywhere else. I mean, it would have been really nice to live in a big city, especially during college, just because I plan on moving to a big city after school, even though Indianapolis is a big city. But, like, a New York City or D.C. during college, just because I would have been able to understand how to navigate a big city more than when I'm moving from a really small town to a big city. It's going to be quite the adjustment after graduation. But I don't really regret, or I can't really see myself anywhere else.
Okay, great. Yeah, it was different for me because I grew up in Indianapolis. Growing up here, I mean, like Hannah said, Indianapolis is a huge city. Yeah. It's a very big city, but I imagined myself in a city where I could just be away from Indianapolis, like a big city, and that was a huge reason I wanted to be in DC at Howard, which is my absolute favorite place in the world. I have loved every single moment that I've spent at that university, and it's taught me so much about myself, and just I'm really like grateful for Howard. It's literally just like a breeding ground for like success, and like to be surrounded by all the time, to be surrounded by people who look like you, who are also so ambitious and just working towards something great is so, it's very refreshing, you know? And I'm not saying you cannot get that at PWIs, like at the schools you're attending, but I just think there's so much beauty in being able to be surrounded all the time by people who look like you, because, I mean, I've never been in a situation where, like, I'm the majority. And for finally once in my life, I feel like I'm the majority and, like, the people are for me. And no one's really trying to tear me down, or I'm not afraid to, like, speak my mind. And there's no, like higher power.
Nobody looks at you when they start talking about slavery.
Right. It's an open conversation. It's
empowering for sure. I mean,
yeah.
It's a good experience.
Coming from IU, and this past summer I worked out on Capitol Hill, but I was in the cohort with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation students from across the country, and we all lived on the same floor together for 2 months, and it was so empowering to be around people that look like you and to walk the grounds of a place of where your ancestors built against their own will. And every moment of it, I learned so much about myself and about our people, and that we're not a monolith, and that we all have so much to contribute, and that really, like, at the base of this country, like, we make America what it is. So.
Exactly.
The United States.
Black is bomb.
It is. Black is
Black
beautiful.
Is beautiful, right? And I'm curious, so at your PWIs, and I mean, for our listeners who, some people probably don't know what that means. So a PWI is a predominantly white institution. So it's basically a place where it's a college where the majority of the people are Caucasian, they're white. And I attend a historically black college, which is Howard University, which is known for educating black people because we weren't allowed education in the beginning. So at PWIs, I'm curious, how does your campus handle issues of race and or racism? What is the tone or the kind of ambiance of your campus with all, like, the race relations going on in our country?
So for this one, I would say Purdue gives us a lot of opposition, especially as the university itself. When it comes to race issues, I remember freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, even this year, like myself and other students have assembled to either protest or march peacefully. And obviously, the university's either going to issue out a response saying, oh, Purdue doesn't condone this, but then that's the most they'll do. They won't be present alongside us. They won't try to take time to say, okay, when we hear you guys, we see the issues, let's actually talk about this on a more professional level. They just stand by and let it happen. I mean, obviously they keep it peaceful and whatnot. They do provide police support if it's needed, but that's pretty much it. Like, we won't. Mitch Daniels, he's a pretty decent president for the university in terms of like what he's been able to do for the university. But besides an email sent out to the entire student and faculty, I know I'm not going to get like much of a response from him on any race issues.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess you go to the same university, but no,
Yeah.
I still would like to hear, especially since you said
I appreciate it. Thanks.
2%.
Yeah. Wow, Purdue, their response. Wow. Okay, so like on paper,
I know, I'm sitting over here like, what am I going to say?
on paper, it's very like, yeah, we love diversity and Purdue's extra diverse. And a lot of times they're really just referring to the large international population. So in terms of domestic minorities and the support we receive, there is no support. So anything that you get is from students themselves that are organizing.
Right.
Multicultural organizations, things like that.
Do you guys have a Black Student Union?
We do.
We do.
Okay.
We do. We also have a Black Cultural Center. Is it the largest one?
I feel like, no, their facility's larger than ours.
Wow, just kidding.
I'm doing better.
Wow.
Tell you.
But in terms like of an actual response, no, you don't get anything. So, wow, that was a little depressing. But boiler up.
Boiler up.
Gosh, well, there's been quite a few controversies that have happened in the past couple of years since I've been there. I mean, we had a white supremacist come and talk on campus, and I know it was in my building, the media school, where I have class, and my classes were canceled, and it was a huge disruption, and
Wow.
it was very interesting just to see the different dynamics of how the public or university officials are handling it, and students. Like, it was right around the time that Kylie Jenner with the Pepsi ad, or whatever her name is, Kendall, whatever, they all look the same. But when she had the Pepsi and someone threw a Pepsi at a cop. So we keep it really funny. Things real funny
Just
down
give
at
them
IU,
a Pepsi and,
right?
like, race relations.
Fix
will be a
everything.
thing.
Really great job to the ad agency that did that. But then we also had another controversy with the Benton murals in one of our buildings where a lot of the political science classes are held. And on the murals, it's like a really historic mural, and it's like a material you can't fix. But there was the KKK were on the side, and they didn't take them down. And they said that they decided to preserve history so that we know what our country's history is and everything. But it's like, we all know, and how uncomfortable for your Black students that are in classes in this building or in this room, for them to have to sit there and see that on the wall all the time. It's
infuriating.
No comment. But then also they've done a really good job protecting our rights and making sure that we know that they are caring about us, especially when the DACA announcement happened earlier back in October or November or September, earlier this year, or in 2017. And then
we're in 2018 now.
And also just been talking about with the new racial climate and what's been going on with Donald Trump and the way that minorities are under attack right now in the country. So they've been doing a good job at making sure that they know that making sure that students know that they care. So
Right.
But there's been a few controversies for sure.
Awesome.
Can I just add one more thing?
Of course.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I feel like the most telling thing about Purdue is that I want to say our freshman year, maybe, they actually dissolved the position of Chief Diversity Officer after maybe like 2 years, 3 years of the position actually being like a thing. And so then it was like absorbed into academic affairs, something. Basically, that told me, at least, that you don't care. Like, you don't care about diversity and supporting your
domestic minorities.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even your international students as well.
And that is a whole department at IU, and we have the Cultural Center, Neil Marshall Cultural Center as well, and so many different other things where there are platforms and spaces for minority students, Black students in particular's voices to be heard. So that's really concerning.
Great. When the Muslim ban came out, we just got like one random lackluster, half-hearted email from Mitch.
Really?
And then nothing came out after DACA. Nothing at all. So Purdue, they're just really telling you, you're on your own. And that's it.
Oh, there's one more thing. Sorry. I don't want to leave it out. But they've had this whole momentum called IU is Home over the past year, where they've been having people come and tell their stories about what IU means to them and why it's a place that they feel that they can call home. And it's not somewhere that, like, it's just for some people. It's for everyone. So
that's interesting. I know you said that the minority or Black population at your universities is extremely small. At IU, you said 4%. Is it 4% total Black people on the campus, or is that just students? Does that include faculty and staff, or are you sure?
Just students.
Just students? Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you think...
But don't think we have a lot of Black faculty. Please don't get that impression either.
Well, I know you said the students, the diversity rate. Do you think students who are the majority feel that Purdue is diverse? The students who are not the minority.
I feel like yes, but at the same time, I feel like there's people that could go through all 4 years and not talk to someone that looks different than them, and that to me is concerning.
Right, of course, and I mean, you kind of this kind of makes me think back to my freshman year experience at IU.
Absolutely.
Because I had originally planned on rooming with someone who did not look like me that I met on Facebook. I was like, okay, I was like, all right, this is I posted in the IU Facebook group, the class of 2018 IU group. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for a roommate. I was like, here's a little bit about me. Cool, blah, 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 blah. And then I had different people hit me up. So I was like, okay, cool. And then someone reached out. He's from northern Indiana, somewhere in northern Indiana. Came down to Indianapolis, and we met, and everything was super cool. We were like, all right, yeah, bet we will be good roommates. We got to IU, and then it just all turned bad. It turned bad. I remember telling Hannah I just don't think he's been around Black people. Yeah. And
what does that mean?
He would literally it would jokingly call me the N-word. With a hard R. With a hard R. He'd be like,
it would be
yo, that's dead.
We don't need that.
I know. And it was I couldn't believe that. I was just like, is this serious right now? And I couldn't. So I eventually, I just was like, you know what? I do not feel comfortable here. This is not what I want. I would never want to put myself through this situation ever again, or anyone. So I decided to room with someone else, someone who did look like me, who went to Brebeuf, who was a pretty cool guy. I love him. Shalu Obeyme. Yeah. He went to Brebeuf. But yeah, no, the rest of our experience was amazing. I had a great time with my roommate. Have you guys experienced any sort of racism or anything at your universities, directly?
Yes, of course. But it's not necessarily something that was overt. It can happen, and just the way that if you have, I had white friends, or I have white friends, and sometimes old friends, but it's just the way that they talk to you different than they talk to someone that looks like them, or I've had friends who have left parties because they felt uncomfortable because they're the only Black people in the room, and that's just not okay.
Right.
And it ends friendships because people don't know how to accept people that are different from them, right, or be in places where it's this is like my entire college experience, you know, like walking into a party and it's all white people. I'm the only black person there. Walking into a classroom, I'm sometimes the only black person there. So for some people, when the roles switch, they can't handle that when they're the only white person that's in a room full of all black people. And so it's really frustrating because we go through all of this and we trailblaze so that we can do better, but people can't walk in our shoes and flip the situation and still be okay with it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Sorry,
of course. No, of course. Totally. 100%. But no, I don't want to talk about like this depressing stuff anymore. It is. I mean, it sucks, but like,
I mean, it's there.
So I kind of, I was like, wow, I'm really getting into this. But basically, I know you guys were like very like, Lasawni, you were heavily involved in high school, like with like student council and whatnot, like president of our class or something like that. Vice president. So
myself and Alexis Lee,
of course,
Charles,
yes.
TJ, we're all going to be planning that 10-year reunion.
Right. Oh, really? That's a thing?
I have high expectations.
But no, I mean, are you still involved in stuff like that at Purdue?
So at Purdue, my freshman year, I joined the School of Management Council, and that basically was the student council for the business school. And then nowadays, like I decided, like even though it's senior year last semester, like I still want to be involved. I want to do college mentors for kids next semester. I still volunteer at an organization called the Hartford Hub. Still involved in my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi. J5 is coming soon, so Founders Day is coming soon. So for the most part, like I have like 2 official mentees on campus, so I'm definitely like still involved because I know I want to give back.
Awesome. And Danielle, I know you were like the brightest star of North Central. Always sitting in the front of classes.
Yeah.
Look right
all
at her.
honors
She's studying
classes.
biology and genetics.
Yeah.
Well, in high school, I feel like I was all over the place in the organizations that I joined, like All for Children, National Honor Society, just like here and there. Like, well, if I wanted to do it, I was in it. But then once I got to Purdue, I definitely tailored my organizations towards multicultural / Black orgs, as well as science organizations as well, and community service. So I also volunteer at Hartford Hub, but I do it through like a science program where we do little experiments with the students that come there. I'm in, I feel like, every Black org.
Shout out.
Yeah, you just have to get in where you fit in, and that's it.
Good. And Hannah?
Well, let's see. So right now I'm president of the Student Alumni Association at U, which was one of the first student alumni associations in the country.
Wow.
And it was at its peak it's the largest one ever, and it disbanded, and then I've been recreating it again, which has been really special and neat to be a part of something that was such a big part of IU's tradition and cultures. But yeah, so that's been my main thing that I've been heavily involved in, and it's also my internship, and how I got there was just a miracle, honestly, because I had applied my sophomore year to transfer to Butler, and I got in, and the next day I went to that same awards dinner with my grandma, 10, 15 years later, and I met my boss, who's the CEO of the Alumni Association, and he was like, I have this perfect program, you need to be involved, and I ended up falling in love with the program, and it was partially a big part of why I stayed at IU. And so I really credit it to making it my experience what it's been in the past 3 years now.
That's great. Well, I love that. Well, it's been great hearing about every single thing that you guys have to do with Purdue and IU, what you're doing, and how you're handling different issues and what you're passionate about and what all you're involved in. And so I really, really, really appreciate each and every one of you for allowing me to ask you guys questions and having this conversation with me, because I think it's very important, especially being minorities on your campuses. But basically, I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate it. And it's been a great. I know I literally have not seen you guys since high school,
since graduation.
So yeah,
it's a good way to start a new year off.
I know. Happy New Year to you guys, and I know we're about to graduate. It's our graduation year now. So.
God.
bittersweet.
I know. It's scary to think about, but...
Well, thanks for creating the space, allowing us to come and share our stories. And I haven't seen either of you since we graduated either, so it's been really great to catch up and hear what's going on with your lives and everything.
And thank you to our sponsors here at The Hatch, Pastor G, Mr. Gurton, and we thank you. And thank you to all of our listeners. And I hope you guys tune in to the next episode of Holiday Hangouts with Branson Falker.